Let's get right into it. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're talking about a massive mindset shift, the exact one you need to go from being a stressed-out employee to a genuinely wealthy business owner. If you've ever felt completely stuck just trading your time for an hourly wage, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to look at why true financial freedom usually isn't found in some glamorous, high-risk tech startup. It's actually found in something way more accessible. We're talking about solving permanent, unsexy problems. That right there is the ultimate bridge from employee to owner. So, what's the secret of the stress-free millionaire next door? You know the type, right? They don't show off, they definitely aren't always talking about money, but they live incredibly well. They travel, they owe nobody anything. Well, according to the research we're diving into today, the folks with true financial peace aren't running crazy, high-stress, disruptive tech companies. Nope. They're running totally ordinary, everyday operations that most people just completely overlook because they sound boring.
And that brings us to a core philosophy we really need to examine today. Boring businesses pay for exciting lives. It's so true. So many of us get trapped in this employee mindset where we're chasing a vanity project, right? Like the perfect online store, or trying to go viral with a personal brand, or starting some flashy new podcast. But chasing those things, it usually just leads to burnout and, frankly, empty pockets. Real, lasting wealth is built by solving permanent, unsexy problems. Because, think about it, people are always going to need their clothes washed, their trash removed, and their cars cleaned.
Now, becoming an owner isn't actually about the specific industry you pick. It's a total identity shift. Let's look at the operator. That's your classic employee mindset. You do the physical work yourself, and you charge by the hour. On the flip side, we have the owner. The owner is the one managing the systems, locking in the contracts, and hiring the team. To put it simply, if you're out there mowing lawns, you're an operator. If you manage the people who are out there mowing the lawns, you're an owner. The financial impact of making that exact mental shift is just staggering. $200,000. Let's stick with that landscaping example from our source material. An employee might make, say, $40,000 a year doing the grueling physical labor of mowing those lawns. But the very second that same person systemizes the work, stops pushing the mower themselves, and hires a crew, that standard lawn care job transforms into a landscaping company pulling in $200,000 a year. Literally the exact same industry, just a completely different mindset. Okay, so what are the absolute best vehicles for making this transition? Honestly, they are incredibly ordinary. We're talking laundromats, automated car washes, vending machines, waste management, and self-storage units. Sure, they aren't exactly thrilling dinner party conversation starters, but they are the absolute best low-barrier vehicles for first-time owners. Why? Because they solve simple, everyday problems that just never go away. They don't need a booming economy to survive, they just rely on the fundamental, basic needs of everyday society. Check this out, 94.8%. We constantly hear those scary stats, right? That half of all new businesses fail within the first few years. But laundromats, they have a success rate of 94.8% at the 5-year mark. Out of every 100 people who open one, nearly 95 are still going strong half a decade later. And the reason is simple. 90% of their customers are repeat customers. You don't have to convince anyone to wash their clothes. Clothes just get dirty on their own. It is the definition of predictable, steady demand. And speaking of predictable, how about a 41% net margin? That is the average for self-storage units across the United States. To put that into perspective, 1 in 10 American households rents a unit, and the average customer stays for over 14 months. People will literally pay you month after month to store old high school trophies they've completely forgotten about. No joke. That is recurring income at its absolute finest. And predictable, recurring income is exactly what true business owners rely on to build stress-free wealth. When you take these simple concepts and scale them up, incredible things start to happen. Take John Derry, for example. He started with just a single automated car wash, and he scaled that operation to nearly $6 million in annual revenue. His big secret? It wasn't some crazy disruptive tech innovation. Nope. He simply standardized his process and replicated it over and over again. By offering monthly memberships where folks pay like $20 to $40 a month to wash their car anytime they want, he secured predictable, weatherproof income every single month. Section 2. The Parable of Action. Daniel versus Alex.
Let's look at a real-world comparison to really hammer this home. Both Daniel and Alex are 42 years old, making around $55,000 a year doing honest work. But the choices they make over a 5-year span are a night and day contrast. Daniel, the employee, is totally paralyzed by perfection. He wants to launch a highly produced podcast or build this cool personal brand. So over 5 years, he blows $36,000 on unused software subscriptions and dining out, just waiting for the quote-unquote perfect idea. His result, zero external income. Still an employee. Alex, on the other hand, drops his pride. He invests just $3,530 on a pressure washer and some basic business cards, and he physically goes out and knocks on doors. He said his hands literally shook with nerves, but he did it anyway. The result? Alex now runs a $180,000 a year business and has 2 employees. Execution beats a perfect idea every single time.
There's a great quote from our source that sums this up perfectly. The difference isn't talent or luck, it's the willingness to do the work that other people are too proud to do. Think about it. Alex didn't have a fancy logo. He didn't buy a $2,000 business course. He just had an old truck and a willingness to get his hands dirty. Leaving your ego at the door is the absolute ultimate prerequisite for transitioning from an employee to a true owner.
Once you manage to drop your pride, you start looking for stability. Take a look at pest control, for example. A massive 85% of residential revenue in that industry comes from automated recurring contracts. This means the customer gets billed automatically every single month, and you don't have to go out and sell to them twice. True business owners intentionally engineer their businesses around this exact kind of automated, reliable cash flow.
Owners also have this knack for seeing value exactly where employees just see trash. Take the urban ore concept in the scrap metal recycling market. Electronic waste is absolutely full of precious metals like gold, silver, and copper. An owner can step right in as a middleman, collecting scrap from construction sites or home remodels and then just selling it to recycling plants. You are literally turning what society throws away into a highly profitable, scalable business just by solving a permanent problem.
Now, if you're sitting there wondering how to actually get started, the barrier to entry is incredibly low. Here are 5 highly profitable service businesses that you can launch for under $5,000. Pressure washing, pet waste removal, parking lot striping, becoming a notary public, or launching a wash and fold delivery service. All of these require very minimal upfront capital. What they do require is for you to stop acting like an employee waiting for permission and start acting like an owner taking initiative.
Let's take a closer look at that wash and fold delivery service, for example. This is what's known as an acquisition business. Starting a brand new physical laundromat involves high capital and high risk, but you could start a wash and fold delivery service with 0 machines. Literally none. You just partner with an existing laundromat, offer your local community the convenience of picking up and delivering their laundry, and you keep a 30 to 40% margin. You don't even need physical assets for this. You just add a convenience layer to a business that already exists, and boom, you become an owner overnight.
And you definitely wouldn't be alone in making this leap. Out of the 36 million small businesses in the United States, a massive 82% are operated by a single person. 82%. This means millions of people have already made the conscious decision to just stop working for someone else. They didn't have fancy partners, they didn't have massive angel investors, and they certainly didn't ask for permission. They just went ahead and made the transition.
So how do you join that 82%? Well, here is the exact playbook mapped out in 3 really actionable steps based on what we've learned today. Step 1, pick an everyday problem that never goes away. Things like trash, dirt, or pests. Step 2, drop your pride and get your hands dirty so you can actually learn the business inside and out. And step 3, systemize the work and hire other people so you can scale. Stop being the operator and become the owner. That, my friends, is exactly how you buy back your time and build real, lasting wealth.
Millions of people have already stopped waiting for permission. How much longer will you? The tools are out there. The demand for these everyday services has literally never been higher, and the path from employee to owner is completely mapped out for you. The only thing standing in your way right now is taking that very first step. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. It's time to stop waiting for that perfect idea. Get out there and build something real.